In your financial packet is a list of the accomplishments and issues and projects that we've been working on this year. So take a look at that. It's a long list. Kind of hard to imagine that we covered all of those, but we only work our staff 120%, so they did what they could. On the big issues, I'll just highlight some of the big issues. The final push to end the 6-year saga of uncertainty on North Coast in-stream flow was ended in May of this year. We partnered with California Farm Bureau Federation, and I got to say the attorneys over there were such a strong asset that we could have never done this on our own. We also with the Sonoma and Mendocino County Farm Bureaus and Napa County RCD, which we'll see Jonathan Kohler a little bit later this evening. But together we were instrumental working with Trout Unlimited to provide a ag-friendly alternative to the completely unreasonable, unworkable, outlandish, egregious.
How do you really feel about it?
Completely ridiculous proposed state draft policy. We've always said that this is about fish and farms. If it's not sustainable, if we're not sustaining fish, if we're not sustaining our streams, ultimately we're out of business. And the alternative, the joint recommendations that we were able to insert into this draft policy will provide water for diversion for agriculture while providing sustainable flow to fish. And we're pleased that that issue is over, but we're also pleased that we had an effect on it. I mean, it was going to be way ugly. It was going to be way ugly. That was a highlight. I never thought I'd see that one end because it was ugly. On-road diesel truck rules went into effect in March. We were able to achieve, again, with California Farm Bureau help, a low mileage ag exemption for our trucks. You undoubtedly have seen those garish black and white ag stickers on our trucks rolling around up and down the valley. Yeah, those stickers are dang ugly, but just think of them as $10,000. That's a $10,000 sticker on your truck that you're not having to retrofit that engine for a vehicle that goes, maybe 2,000 miles a year. So we put that one to bed, and up popped the stationary diesel engine replacement rules, which they say stationary diesel, but this includes portable engines in true state fashion. We discovered at our grant workshop back in February that all engines pre-96 need to be replaced by December. Imagine the shock when that slide came up in the room. We said, say what? You guys are you nuts? We're talking about $25,000 engines here. And so we are now working with, and I got to say, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, of which our man Brad is the, are you the chair, Brad? Yeah, Brad Wagenknecht is the supervisor on that district. They are working with us to get a 10-year exemption for these low-hour engines. When we first went to this, the Air Board, we said, yeah, we have these engines and we don't hardly use them. And they said, well, what kind of an idiot would buy a $25,000 engine and not use it? And we said, that would be me. And furthermore, I've got 10 more where that came from. So, I mean, we figured that there's 150 to 200 or so of these engines in the valley. So if we can get these this 10-year exemption, we're thinking that a lot of these engines went in the 70s and maybe early 80s. So by the time 10 years goes away, these will be 50-year-old engines, and we probably don't want to be basing our frost systems on those. So when I became president in August, I walked square into the WDO. That was fun. I have to. Every president has their issue, and I got mine. I have to acknowledge the leadership of John Mark Chapelet and the other ag organizations. It really brought us together, and we came away with, after some acrimony and some bloodletting, but minor bloodletting, not like Andy went through 20 years ago, but some bloodletting. Minor changes in protecting the integrity of ag land. So that actually, we were fortunate that came out the way it did. And I'll just mention quickly, I saw an article on San Joaquin County Farm Bureau is now starting the same debate. They have huge Williamson Act contracts, and they have huge commercial activity on Williamson Act land. So they're starting where we were 20 years ago, and they actually put a call into Sandy and say, how'd you guys do it? What happens in Napa happens in California. We do it first, and we try to get it right. But I know it scares the daylights out of Paul when I say that Napa and San Joaquin County are on the same side of an issue. He thinks the conspiracy's going on. Napa Pipe, we've met with the developer several times. Our issues remain groundwater for use of a development. We think that opens up the cities to drill, and just the immense size of the project. So we are continuing to monitor that closely. Finally, I'll mention European grapevine moth. It seems to be the topic of choice. Dave and Bob and Monica and Ann did a 10-hour meeting yesterday in Sacramento, and I just like to acknowledge the tremendous effort that Dave Whitmer's put into this effort. He's really kept USDA on board and not let them weasel out of anything. So it's been a tremendous effort. So those are the highlight issues that they're bent towards water and air, which that's my committee. So. That's what I talk about, that's what I know. But, I'd really like to acknowledge our staff. This evening this has been put together by Sylvie, and I noticed that she left. I think maybe she knew I was going to mention her name. But let's give a round of applause for Sylvie putting this together. Sylvie also does our ag directory. She does our grower advocate, she does our Facebook page, she does a tremendous job as program coordinator. And when it comes to issues, I've been caught before saying Sandy has issues. She gets all the issues. In the early days of WDO, and when we were going through the early stages and it was not looking pretty and everybody had an opinion, Sandy was getting the calls. And it's not an easy job, and so and that happens with every issue, and it's just a tremendous effort that Sandy puts in. She keeps us honest, she keeps us reasonable. She tells me a lot that you can't say that, and and she doesn't kick me under the table at Farm Bureau meetings. So she elbows me at county supervisors, but that's to be expected. So a tremendous effort. Thank you, Sandy. I'd just like to acknowledge Bob Bialy. Where's Bob? 10 years ought to be enough for anyone. Bob, if you could come up, please. Yeah, you. I know. We have embarrassing gifts. I'm going to use that for a paperweight. That's a good place for it. For your outstanding leadership serving on Napa County Farm Bureau's Board of Directors and your commitment to the ag industry. Thanks, Bob. Bob has also been a voice of reason, that calm, intellectual thought process, and he pops up when we need reason. So we appreciate it.